Okay, so here are things you can learn from LOTM, Lord of the Mysteries. Sorry, the background might be a little noisy, it's raining outside. Anyway, let's go. So the first one shouldn't have the heart to harm others, but one must be vigilant so as to not be harmed. This one is where Klein was just talking to himself, right? And that was the mission. No, and that was before the mission with Marek and Sharon. He was just talking to himself. So like, he didn't really know their like motives, right? He didn't really know Marek and Sharon's motives. So he was just cautioning himself, like, you shouldn't have the heart to harm others, but you should always be vigilant so you won't be harmed yourself. So that's one thing to learn. Second one was when Audrey's father, Earl Hall, was talking to his son. I think his son wanted to enter politics or something like that. So Earl Hall was like, if you want to make any achievement in politics, right, you have to participate and do your best in matters, right? And then people will now see that, wow, you've actually done this and you have experience. Then they'll be able to trust you to do more things and bigger things. Then his son, Hibbert Hall, now asks him, like, what about things you don't know how to do, things you're not good at? This is where Earl Hall cemented himself as a great father, man, and as a great teacher. He said, then pretend that you can handle it. Don't worry about wasting money. Form professional teams. Listen to their opinions and make decisions. You see, that's the thing. Everyone has areas that they're not good at. And money is multifaceted. That was his advice, and that was so good, man. If you can't do something, hire people that can do it. Let them give their opinions. You make decisions. Use your money like to be able to do what you can. And from that, you can also learn and build yourself. So another thing to learn, the third thing to learn was from Emperor Russell. It was Lena that was talking about this. He said, Emperor Russell once said to make a bold hypothesis and then carefully back it up. So be bold in your hypothesis, but then make sure you back it up. Don't just be bold, say bold things without having any evidence or anything to back it up, right? And then this one of the best things to learn here. This was when I think it was Demoness Tracy, and she was talking to, I don't know, her lover or something like that. She was like, haha, you didn't make a mistake. She was once she used to be like, hey man. Even the thing down there was, bro, I don't really understand what she's talking about here, but okay, let's move on. Okay, here was something Klein learned in his past life as a keyboard warrior. So he's saying, in a situation where the reasons are unknown, a superior wouldn't so easily express his opinion, so I can't actually open my mouth. I think this was where one of the places where he was disguising as a fool. When people ask questions you don't know, bruh, if you're claiming to be superior and people are asking questions you don't know, don't express your opinions easily. Just keep quiet and now be like, you know some stuff. That's what he's trying to teach right there. Next one, I think this one is also from his experience as a former keyboard warrior, and it's when it comes to proving something or strengthening a point of view, right? Like anyone who gives an example and doesn't mention their entire sample or overall statistic is being an asshole, right? And using similar companion words like I have a friend, a girl I know, someone I know, just like that. That's where they're just being an ass. It's actually them they're talking about, man. Or no one. And they're just fabricating data deliberately. Next one was when Klein was with Audrey. I think Audrey was having a bad time. Her mood was down and everything. I think she had finally seen the faces of the people around her, what they actually thought and how they reasoned and stuff. And she was disappointed. So Klein wanted to comfort her. And he wanted to tell her like maturing didn't mean she had to give up positive moods and smiles. Like just because you're maturing doesn't mean you have to stop smiling. You have to now be all serious all the time or just be a hard person, you get me? That's what I'm trying to say. He said maturing wouldn't affect her ability to take things seriously and would instead help her persevere for a longer period of time, you see? So being positive, smiling, helps you to persevere for a longer period of time. That's what he is saying. But here, because he had to maintain his image as the fool, he didn't give her the advice. This man, bro. Next one is about Blazing Danitz, the one and only blessed of the fool. Here's when Klein was still disguising as German Sparrow. So I think Danitz, what is the situation here? Let me know. What this particular clip here is trying to say, this passage. It just, if you want to act as a big shot, you should always say less. So here Danitz was like, if I were to say that this has nothing to do with me, will you believe it? I've forgotten the situation, the exact context, but after he said that, Klein, German Sparrow, slowly smiled and said, guess. Just one word, guess. That's it, boy. You cemented your position as sort of authority, right? He said, guess. Danitz was losing his mind immediately. He said that, bro. But he still maintained his smile and said, your wisdom is enough to judge everything. Just for one word, say less. Okay, next one, let's see. This video just me showing you things I observed and could learn from in LOTM. Hey, it might be good for you, it might not. Whatever, man. So let's see. What is this situation here? German Sparrow saved someone. I think he might be a noble or something like that. Who is Elland again? Can't really recall. He said German Sparrow. I think it was when he was on a ship, right? And Elland was an adventurer that didn't have beyond the powers. I think that's the context. So German Sparrow said, I didn't save you for a reward. And Elland laughed and said, I'm not giving you this in return for saving me. Aren't we friends now? Isn't it normal to help a friend make up for his shortcomings when he doesn't have such items? And that's so good, man. As friends, we should make up for our friends' shortcomings, bro. If they don't have stuff and we have them, bro, we give them. That's the way, boy. As friends, that's what you should do. It's not about rewards or seeing what you can gain. Sometimes it's just to help your friends. For real, that puts a smile on my face. Then Klein thought, what he said makes sense. There's no way to refute him at all. You see, as friends, man, I love it. And so he took the box or whatever that thing was and nodded. Next one. At that moment, he thought of something. Okay, just last week at the gathering, Miss Justice had inquired about other kings of angels, and Mr. Full answer was that we'll come into contact with them in the future. And just a week later, we really have come into contact with new angels. Mr. Full had foreseen this. Bro, that situation, Klein didn't know what to say. He didn't know the other kings of angels. He just said, he was just trying to be mysterious, like normal. Told them you'll come into contact with kings of angels later in the future. And just a week later, the kings of angels started plotting and stuff now. And this one came into contact with them. And it was not like, wow, Mr. Full had predicted this. In fact, he hadn't. My boy was as clueless as them. But just because he made his speech vague, it now seemed as if he knew all along. Bro, Klein be doing some big brain stuff, man. Next one. Okay, I think next one is showing how novels and fantasy material can distort your thinking or mentality, right? So here, as German Sparrow, he took on a commission to search for a lady, right, that was captured by pirates. He was a female pirate, I think an admiral of the sea, if I remember correctly. So when he saw the whole story, he was like, wow, did she get captured by a pirate because of love or something like that? After taking all these thoughts, he caught himself like, I've read too many novels in my previous life, and I happen to have a trauma because of demonesses in this world. The stories and fiction, the fantasy had clouded his mind so much that anything he sees, he kind of relates it with fantasy. So that can be a downside to reading too much fantasy, right? And one is giving us insight into humanity, into how humans behave. See what he says. After calming down and thinking about it, there are many things that can be done. Humans are always like this, bound by desire, unable to see what's of value. Why did I transmigrate over here? What secrets lie hidden in the depths of the stars above my head? Where did the original consciousness come from? And if self-cognition purely comes from one's consciousness, then who was I before I had the identity of Huang Tao? Who does the essential part belong to? That's Emperor Russell thinking. I think it was after he came into contact with the moon and was corrupted, something like that. And Klein had to troll him here. He like, why are you being a philosopher now after indulging in pleasure and being a pervert? Here he said the diary of Emperor Russell was both a book of knowledge and a collection of jokes to him. Next we go to the next thing we can learn from LOTM. It's talking about like working hard. It's about working hard, right? And the benefits. How the benefits of working hard relates directly to working hard. So he said like, I think it's also in Emperor Russell's diary. Emperor Russell wrote, when a person knows with certainty how much he will gain after putting in the effort and is able to directly tell how much he gains, then he will certainly work hard as I am now. Okay, that came out a little weird. And Klein was like, isn't this the bedrock of many games? Yeah, immediately you know how hard or what you can get for working hard. Immediately you can see it. It will fuel your hard work more. It will fuel you to work harder to get that thing. And he's right. That's what games are predicated on. That's the whole psychology behind games. That's facts. Oh, and I personally love this side. I personally love this panel. I think Klein was just thinking about himself, doing a deep introspection about who he really is. And that's what we can learn from him here, man. We should always introspect and search deep within us to find who we really are, man. See what he described himself as: a person from Earth, but to a certain extent, a person who has been reconstructed into a new person because of the fusion with Klein-Moretz's memory fragment. A person deeply influenced by the time he spent in the Nighthawks. A person who tries to play safe and is afraid of danger, but can change his mind at critical moments. That's tough, man. That's tough. That's Klein correctly. That was a correct assessment of himself right there. A person who wants to just chill out, but has no choice but to be busy with important matters. A person who likes beautiful women, but doesn't give himself up to pleasure, but keeps his principles. Tough. That's tough. Person who loves money but is willing to spend large sums of money for his siblings. That's showing care. A person who hides his pain inside while showing a smile to others. Oh, I think I remember this. I think this was right when he digested the clown potion. Smiling and crying at the same time, man. That was some deep stuff, for real, for real. A person who's used to lampooning inwardly but appears gentlemanly on the surface. Reminds me of the time where they were stuck in that dragon's palace, the mind dragon's palace, right? My guy's image just completely broke in Audrey's face, but hey, boy, I like that. That was humanizing for him right there. I like that sequence. I want to go back and read that place, man. It was so funny. None of them could keep their check, man. And let's finish it out. A person who can overcome his psychological traumas but never crosses his bottom line. That's heavy. Never cross your bottom line. And a person who feels embarrassed for his acting. My boy is always embarrassed as acting as a fool. Next one. Okay. Next one was, I think he was disguising as a demigod. I think it was an admiral, demigod, or is he admiral? Why can't I remember his name right now? He was disguising as this demigod, right? And before he disguised himself as this demigod, right? Let's just say a guy told him to come and act as this. A demigod wanted someone to act as him for a period of time so he can do some stuff, right? So he contacted someone, let's just say Mr. A. He contacted Mr. A to hire someone to be able to look like him and act like him for a certain period of time, right? But the person Mr. A hired died for some inexplicable reason. So he now got German Sparrow to fill his place in. So as German Sparrow filled his place, this demigod came and noticed immediately that this was not the same person that this guy had hired the first time, right? So he now asked the man, Mr. A. Mr. A was sweating and now confessed like, yeah, the guy died. So he now brought it to that person. So the demigod now chastised him, right? Corrected him and said, and gave him some advice like what his father said, right? And now Klein is using that same line of what that guy said, because now he's disguising as the guy. The demigod later agreed for German Sparrow to take his place and disguise as him. So German Sparrow, when confronted with a situation, used that exact same advice that this demigod's father gave him. He used it in this same situation here. I don't know if this my explanation had made you confused more, but let's just keep going. Here's what Klein said when he was disguised as the demigod. He was talking to his subordinates. That's what I think. He said, "My father, the deceased Earl Riverdelt," shit, I bought that pronunciation. Earl Riverdelt once taught me this. He said to pardon the first mistake of a subordinate. Luan, you, as well as the other bodyguards, should be thankful for his benevolence. That was the first half. He said to pardon the first mistake of a subordinate. That's tough, and that's something you should also learn, man. Pardon the first mistake of a subordinate. But then there's a second part of the saying, a second half to the saying. And the second half of the saying is to punish them for their second mistake. So yeah, that's something to learn. Next was when Klein placed Tinder inside the iron cigar case. I think Tinder was one glove, a beyond the material, or a sacred material, whatever they call that thing, that he got from Leonard through Emlyn. So here, I think Tinder was not in good condition and Klein threw it into the junk pile, right? And he said that even though the glove, the Tinder, was unusable, Klein was still certain, he still knew that trash could still be used. He's giving Rudo vibes here. Bro thinks he's in Gachiakuta. Anyway, that's something to learn. Trash can still be used. It can still be used, man. Trash could still be used. That's what I learned from here. Let's go again. Next one is, if someone reveals valuable information to you, they're expressing goodwill to you or no, to someone who's backing you. In Klein's situation, the person that was backing him was himself. Bro, I always love this stuff, man. The person backing you is yourself. That's crazy. The person backing Klein Moretti was the fool, Klein Moretti. So yeah, that's something to learn. Next we have, hey, but I always like that line he had for his acting. Never perform unprepared. For real, whatever you're doing, man, always be prepared, man. Always going with a plan. For real. I don't even have that here in my whole stack, in my notes or none. Well, I didn't even take any notes. I'm just reading from my I'm just here looking at the pictures and going off for my head. Anyway, let's go. Next is some sort of a riddle. I'll ask this and you all should try and answer before I give you the answer. It says, if your wife, daughter, and the woman you covet, a woman you want, ask you to judge who is the most beautiful among them, your wife, daughter, and the woman you want, ask who is the most beautiful among them, who would you choose? Hey, the timer is going 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. You failed it. He said, okay, this was Aridus. Aridus was asking the question, right? And Klein couldn't answer. He said, my intelligence is insufficient to determine this matter. Okay, no. It's not Howard that was asking this question. It was when he entered the Giant King's court. Like, to enter the Giant King's court, right? I think there was a mechanism there. If you didn't answer the question, or if you failed the question or the riddle they start you asked, you'll be obliterated immediately. So, hey, he was disguising as Grossel, the giant that was stuck inside Grossel's travel. That's spectators beyond the blah blah blah. So he was disguised as Grossel, and he was asked this riddle. And so he actually didn't know it. So he now said he will direct the question to someone who is smarter than him. And then the giant's face, the thing asking the riddle, now asked, who is this person that is more intelligent than you? And Klein, disguised as Grossel, said, of course it's our king, the Giant King. And so they start to consider that a pass. Like, will he go and disrespect the king, the Giant King? There's no way. So he passed that riddle right there. But hey, so I didn't really have the answer, and the answer you gave there might be right, might be wrong. So hey, let's keep going. Hey, but wait, if you think you know the answer, man, drop it in the comment. Let's see who is really correct. What is the right answer? Next one's talking about money, and it was Gio in this situation. Gio Derecha, a friend of Force, the magician, and also called Judgment. Gio is also called Judgment. So here she says she was trying to buy some Beyonder ingredients, right? But she didn't have the money. And she was like, Force is right. Money isn't omnipotent, but it's sufficiently important. Hey, and that's tough. That's for real. That's some real shit right there. Money is not omnipotent. It can't do everything, right? But it's super important. And that's all I got from this panel right here. Let's go to the next one. Hey, next one is about secrets. It's about secrets. Yeah. This was Trissy, Demoness Trissy. I'm sure many of you all know her now from this latest episode of LOTM. I think it's episode 5, right? Or 4. No, it's 5. So here she's saying, I think it's Klein that's saying here. He's saying it's hard for him to believe what she's saying. And she's like, what she's saying is not a secret. It's just a problem for her. Like, one more person knowing doesn't do anything bad for her. And it's even another chance, a new chance for her to get a solution. So sometimes secrets are not secrets. They're just problems that you need help solving. And you need to bring that into the light so people can help you solve it. One more person knowing might be a new opportunity for you to get a solution. So it's not so good for you to keep so much secrets. I haven't really thought out that one really bad. But hey, I think you understand what I'm saying. Next, bro, I think I have like 116 of these panels, man. I don't know how many I can cover right now. I think I've covered about 10, something like that. Next one, before signing anything, always get your lawyer to cross-check and make sure your interests are protected before you make any decision. This was Dwayne Dantes talking to, I think it was the lady, Mary, when she told him to try and buy the shares of the company she was working in, or whatever she was the director in, right? Something about atmospheric change, atmospheric something like that. So always get your lawyer to cross-check and check if your interests are protected and if there are any ways to avoid taxes. That's what I read here. Let's see. Let's go. Next one is talking about principles, and it was Klein. He was trying to graze his soul for crippling hunger, right? That Beyonder material. Is this sacred artifact? Yeah, the sacred artifact. He was trying to graze someone for it. So here he was saying he had a bottom line, right? To not graze humans, like good people that didn't commit any crimes. He had a bottom line to not graze them. But here he was now put on the spot with an option to graze like this particular person. I think the person had a problem, right? And the power the person had was very crucial, was very important for him to take at this stage, right? But then the person had not committed any crimes. So if he grazed it, it would be going against the bottom line. And even though the thing or person was a creature of lower intelligence, lower than humans, right? He just knew that if he crossed this bottom line a little, it will make him keep crossing that bottom line and keep relaxing the requirements for himself until he completely lost himself. So that's the thing. Never relax your bottom line. Never relax your bottom line. Immediately you relax it, you'll keep relaxing it until you completely lose yourself. So Ace, stay strong, man. Let's keep going to the next one. What can be learned here? Let me see how long this video is going for right now. Bro, this 33 minutes. That's crazy. It felt just like 7 minutes. For real. Let's see if I can cut this thing short quickly. I might need to make more videos about this later. Part 2. Do you want part 2? Hey, comment down below if you want part 2, man. I have so many more to do. I have so many more in store. So the context of this scene is German Sparrow is working together with Algar. I think this was when they went to explore the island that Algar found with Kilangos, Vice Admiral Kilangos. And they saw a creature, a 6-winged gargoyle. They knew they could easily dispatch that gargoyle, but they didn't know how many more were waiting for them there. So if they wasted this gargoyle, they might get jumped by so many other gargoyles that might be hiding there. So this is the lesson to be learned here. It says curbing one's greed was a premise for a risky exploration. That means you have to control your greed. You have to control your greed when you're doing something risky. When you're doing something you're not so sure of, you should always control your greed. That's a tough point right there. That's heavy. You should remember this one for real, for real. That will help you to not lose yourself and lose some things important, man. And I think I'll end the video right there, where Algar, the first time Algar and German Sparrow, the world, met. This video ends with the beginning of their working together. Alright, see you next time. Like the video if you like the video, man, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, if you like this video, man, comment something. Let me see, comment. What should you comment? Something I like, a word I like. If you reach here and you like the video, comment that is a reasonable development and put a quill emoji after it. Thank you for watching, and we out of here. Ciao.